Alright, we appear to be having technical difficulties. So let's see what's happening. See if anyone's around. Right, Kev's here. There we go. Something was happening there where no one was coming in. Let's jump on it. Yes, mate.
What's going on?
How are you doing?
Oh no, it's Instagram was playing up or something.
Yeah. Mine cocked out and then I restarted it, and then just I don't know if there was no connection or what, but no one was jumping in.
Yeah.
But with it, yeah, we've got people jumping in now. I've been digging out Ohnoes bits,
Yeah.
trying to find things in my drawers or do.
Throwback. Look at this. Look at this
Classics.
throwback.
Mate, way back.
Way back. And that was
I was,
incidental. I was just talking with the missus before. She's like, that's pretty on point. And I'm like, I didn't even recognize.
mate, meant to be,
Yeah.
innit?
Yeah.
Meant to be. Mate, how's things treating you at the moment?
Yeah, not too bad. It's pretty quiet with COVID going around.
Yeah, what's COVID? I've not heard
Uh,
anyone talk about it.
it's some sort of a thing. I don't know.
Like a zombie infection. That
Yeah.
people should really start talking about it. Let people know. Let
Yeah.
people know they should stay in the house.
You'd be surprised though. In Australia, people are still out doing stuff, enjoying the sun, enjoying the rain.
Mate, that's the hard bit, isn't it? When it is nice weather, like as you can probably see from my glowing face, sat next to the window. It's actually sunny in England.
Ah,
Who the
very
fuck would
nice.
have thought? But it's hard to try to make the majority of people stay in, isn't it? When it's so nice.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
mate, let's jump in. Let's talk about the Ohnoes and how we started working with each other. So I found this file on the window there, on the
Yeah,
desktop window, and that was finished on June the 7th, 2014. So
there you go.
that was officially our first collaboration of
Yeah,
many. But we met probably August, no, November the year before
yeah,
in sunny Melbourne. Came over, and I think on one of Magical Eddie Zammit, who I see is in here as well.
yeah. I think it was
What
Eddie,
did we
Eddie and Soul like linked it up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because I remember coming into the art hall, which is where you're at now.
yeah,
Uh, Met Saul, who I think I'd chatted to previously, and then he gave us a little tour. And I think it was only you that was still in there, like burning
yeah.
the midnight, burning the midnight oil as always.
Always, every night.
Mate, you've got to be one of the few people that I work with around from the globe that I can get online pretty much any hour of my day, and you'll probably be in and around. Yeah, Saul's there as well. So yeah, man, taking it back to kind of winter, Christmas time in Australia. Met you, kept in touch, and then we started working together. And mate, I was trying to count before. I think we've done well over like 10. We've done well over 10 collaborations.
Yeah,
Whether it's stuff we've done for AnyForty or stuff done for the Hardwood Ventures guys.
yeah,
Rest in peace to that store, because that was a sick one, and we did a lot of cool stuff.
yeah,
The Steph Curry T-shirt.
yeah.
But yeah, let's just talk about you as an artist.
For
How long have you
sure.
been doing it for?
I think I would have gone full time just before I'd met you. Literally that year, probably 2014 was when I delved into it full time. Before that, I think we started the studio in 2011,
Yeah.
and I kind of came into a plan where, like, eventually I wanted to go full time with it. So what I did was every 6 months I took a day out of my full time job and then
Yeah.
slowly cycled it out till it was like a full
Man,
time thing. Yeah,
that's a good way to do it.
yeah.
So what was your full-time job before?
I ran a, I managed a bottle shop
Ah,
selling alcohol, slanging.
yeah. I was gonna say, for anyone that's not in Australia, bottle shops based like a Is it like an off license that you can? Is it one of the drive-through ones, or just one that you would walk into?
No, just one that you walk into.
Ah,
So I would
so that
sit
makes,
there. I'd sit there all day, drawing, dreaming of being in the studio.
mate, that's a sick way to do it though. So just introduce it gradually, because I bet you there's a lot of people that watch these live streams or follow AnyForty or follow yourself that want to be like a full-time illustrator, artist, designer, and
Yeah.
it's that the fear sometimes of taking the leap. I think that
Yeah,
puts a lot of people.
a lot of
So that's a
people.
good.
A lot of people like. I think like I've had this discussion with a lot of artists that they just get like overwhelmed with a big picture of something, and I'm a big lists guy. I like lists. So like
Ah,
if I tackle things like one little thing at a time, it's just not as intimidating. So like I thought about it, which way I could take it, and I was like, if I take off one day a week every 6 months out of my job, it's like less intimidating.
yeah,
Yeah.
mate, that's a great way. So you went full time probably around the time that I met you, and at that time, what was the majority of your work?
Prob-
Actual like digital illustrations or painting?
no, I didn't even use a brush back then. Probably mainly t-shirts and graphic design stuff back then. Yeah.
Yeah. So what? So you not really picked the paintbrush up around that time?
Never.
Fuck.
Yeah.
So
I
what?
came from spray painting and all that. That was my kind of my background, and I
Yeah.
kind of taught myself one medium at a time. I started with like watercolors and illustrations, and then slowly moved into oil paints. Quickly got off oil paints, and yeah, eventually found myself in acrylic paints, and just taught myself with YouTube tutorials, and
Man,
yeah,
mate, that's incredible because it's like obviously I love all your digital stuff, and that's the bulk of the work we've done together. But then I start seeing like all your physical paintings popping up on Instagram over the last couple of years, and it might be everything from like the LeBron piece behind you to the ones of like portraits of like friends, dogs,
yeah,
or even when you were doing the pennants.
yeah.
Was it for like stock room
The
paint stuff?
pennants were for a gallery called Struck, and they're in Toronto.
Ah,
Yeah,
yes. We'll get onto that later.
yeah,
Kind of your Toronto journey, because that's something personally I'm interested in
yeah.
hearing from you. So yeah, we you kind of you went full time in around about like 2013, and did you find that suddenly you had enough work to kind of keep you afloat in the auto studio where you are? Did it take a long time to get to that
Uh,
level?
no, no, it was pretty tough. But like, if it wasn't for like reaching out to all the people that I knew in my life and like saying like, oh, I can help you with this, and working for like
Yeah,
next to nothing,
yeah,
um, it wouldn't have happened. But like those kind of things paid for my materials, and
yeah.
I spent a lot of time grinding and learning things, and yeah,
Sick.
yeah.
Sorry, mate. I'm just getting text messages popping up. Turn them off. So yeah, talking about Eddie. Eddie was kind of the first guy that introduced us together.
Mhm.
You've done quite a few projects with Eddie recently, haven't you? Like the
Yeah,
Sesame Street one
yeah,
and the Marvel one.
yeah. Done the Sesame Street, done the Marvel one, um, done a few more. He helped me. He's officially looking after me. He's my manager now. Um,
Ah,
where we've moved into like kind of focusing more on the sports side of things. That's
yeah,
kind of the hole in the market. That's where like my passion is, and where yeah, we're focusing on that right now. He's helped
yeah.
me with
That's
like a local football club. I did a massive mural for them, and
Hawthorne.
yeah, Hawthorne.
Right.
Hmm.
That was yeah. I remember seeing that. There's the kind of the side of the stadium
Stadium.
structure.
Yeah, at Waverley Park. Yeah,
That's it. Well, mate, that's great to hear because
yeah,
it's always been clear to me, and even just from our like chit chats, like just sports just drives you, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Be it
absolutely.
basketball, your main love.
Absolutely. Like, I mean, like, for ages, I was painting all these random things, like what I thought was like cool and what will sell, and it
Yeah,
wasn't what I love. And I love sports, so I was like, fuck it, why not just go all in and see what happens?
mate, life's too short not to try that. Like this
Absolutely.
is the thing. Talked to a few people recently, and it seems to be a bit of a common reoccurrence of people saying like just create like the work that you want to do. Don't just suddenly think like right, oh, movie posters are big time, so I'm gonna just keep churning out movie posters. Like if you don't love movie posters, fucking don't waste your time doing it just because you think people are gonna buy it.
Yeah,
Like
for
do
sure.
stuff you love, and then you'll find a little niche or a crack in the market where people that love that stuff will love your stuff as well. Um, because it's like, did you? I'm guessing Australia was basketball in Australia was huge when you were a kid, was it? Or did you have to look? Did you have to hunt to find it?
I definitely had to hunt to find it. We had it on maybe like on Saturday mornings, I think, or maybe it was Sunday mornings. We had like the game of the week we would play, but my uncle in the States, he would take me like all the Lakers games and he would send them to me. So like every month I'd get like a package from him and all
Nice.
the games. Yeah.
Mate, it's incredible just to see how all this different creative people have all had like these heavy influences growing up that have just kind of crafted our working lives. Like we talked to Signal Noise the other day, and he was mad into like He-Man figures, Master of the Universe, um, and everyone's and Chris Murray, he was mad into hip hop, and it's just beautiful to see like remembering things you loved as a kid and just having passion projects, which is sick. Because I was
Well,
into basketball like you as a kid, mate. I was obsessed with it, but I lost track of it when it basically used to be on Channel 4. So I think it was every Sunday morning they would have a highlights program. It was by this American guy called Scoop Jackson. I think he went on to edit Slam, and they would have these highlights programs. And then for Christmas, I would get like the videos, like they basically like dunk compilations and stuff.
yeah.
And I was obsessed with like Charles Barkley and Chris Webber, that jersey in the background,
Mm.
Pippen, Jordan, all the normal ones like Dominique Wilkins. And then it just disappeared from my life. I couldn't see it anywhere. And I
Mm.
quickly fell out of love with it, and which was the great thing about when Emma and Chris started up Hardware Adventures. It kind of reignited again all those memories of being a kid. And like I built like my dad built us like a backboard
Yeah.
that was on like wheels, proper homemade job that we used to drag into the back street, and
Yeah.
it was like probably like 5 foot tall. So as a kid we could dunk it
Yeah.
and shit like that, and it is amazing. So that's why I've always loved your artwork as well, because it's like a trip down memory lane of stuff that I loved as a kid, but then also helping to educate us like in modern day basketball.
It was funny too, because like I talk about it with real basketball heads, and it was like probably around 2000, 2001, basketball kind of disappeared from any country but America, obviously. And
Yeah.
getting the hands on like watching like Vince Carter games and like all that kind of shit in the early 2000s, like pre LeBron, it was like next to impossible. Uh,
Yeah.
but you had to do what you had to do if you were a basketball fan. You had to go out and find it. And it was like 56K modem days, so you couldn't stream that shit.
Yeah, I remember them days well. Like downloading like a album like in real audio files,
Yeah,
and it would take you have to leave it on overnight for like 2 or 3 nights just to
yeah,
get it.
yeah,
That must have been mad, because that was probably the time scale when I didn't really have any interest in basketball then. I'd gone past it and I couldn't find it, and I just forgotten about it. So
yeah.
there's probably like
Jordan retired, and then everyone didn't give a shit about basketball.
yeah. But it's great nowadays. It's like it's easy to see, isn't it? Like all you got to do is log on your phone in the morning, follow like if you're following I don't know specific teams. Like I love all the talking of design stuff. I love the fact that each team's social media graphics are all handled by like different agencies or different designers,
Hmm.
and it's that's like an inspirational trip on its own, just seeing the different sort of stuff people are doing. So if you like, it's no secret, like you're a huge Kobe fan. Obviously, sad times with that man.
Yeah.
You got a chance to meet him, didn't you?
Yeah, I got a chance to meet him. There was a crew of guys that were bringing him down here. I heard whispers in the crevices of Melbourne that Kobe might be coming to Melbourne. So I literally shot off maybe like over 100 emails and messages to find out who it was. There were like false leads to people that knew someone who might be in there, and there was all these block walls. And then I found the guys finally that were bringing them down, and I was like, I will bring you coffee. I will do whatever you need. Let me be involved in this project. And they're like, we've actually heard that you're one of the biggest Kobe fans in Melbourne. And I'm like, yes. And they're like, would you like to be part of the team that asks, like, who writes out the questions that will be asked of him on the night?
What?
So it was me and this other famous designer called Tyson Beck, who was like the main designer for the NBA for a while, who's a bigger Kobe fan than I am, who had wars in our knowledge.
Yeah.
I knew some things that he didn't know. He knew most things that, like, all these little tidbits that I didn't know. He got to work with him personally, so he had the hand up on me.
Yeah.
But it was awesome. Like, it was the best memory I've ever had, for sure. Best job I've ever had. Yeah.
Absolutely incredible. Like they say, like, you should never meet your heroes, but I'm guessing like he was a nice guy, was he?
Oh, he was an absolute superstar. Yeah, absolutely amazing. I only had like 2 minutes with him, but it was worth it, you know? Everyone else got like 10, 15 seconds. His time was like so micromanaged. Like, to get like a moment with him was like, just 2 minutes was like $1 million, you know? So it was good.
Yeah. So I guess that inspired you when you got home and did it after meeting that dude.
Yeah, for sure. Well, he's inspired me my whole life. His Mamba mentality. I live by that shit. I work every day, 7 days a week, like 15, 16 hours a day. Like,
beast.
Yeah.
So what are let's just talk about like the art stuff for a while. What are some of your favorite projects that you've worked on over the 7 years or so that you've been at it full time?
There's been like a lot of projects that have excited me, but there are like projects that were either not paying that well, or like the that put me in the kind of the right direction of where I want to go. So there was recently a project I did with Melbourne Victory, which is a soccer team here.
Yeah.
And
so it was like a commemorative poster or something.
Yeah, it was a commemorative poster, but the fact that like they called me, you know, it gave me reassurance that like, yes, I am going in the right direction, and like there are people noticing. So that was an exciting project for me. I had a lot of projects for 2020 that were in the mix that definitely were reassuring.
Yeah.
Hey Jack, that's my Mrs.'s nephew. I have to say hi to him.
Yeah, we had one especially lined up, didn't we? That's pretty sick, man.
That was definitely my top 5 dream jobs. But there's like a few on the horizon that like are still gonna happen that just getting pushed back a bit, because of COVID.
Yeah, I know. I think I think things will be good, man. After this, we just got to ride it out. Opportunities will happen, and things like that. How are the Australian government looking after like self-employed people like yourself?
They're starting to roll out like $1,500 fortnight things, but you gotta fucking wait forever to hear back. Yeah. But we're all grinding. I mean, like Aussies are like supporting each other. I'm surprised it was a bit scary, like really scary for a few weeks, and then like yeah, all of a sudden people are spending money. They're at home. They're bored. They want art. They want shit for their house, and I've been slowly
Yeah,
getting more messages and stuff like that. So it's
yeah, that's good, man.
promising.
I think I think that's kind of the same on this side of the pond as well. I think people well, obviously the board have got loads of time. We've got a thing in this country where they call it furloughed. So if you work for a big company and they don't want you in the office, they can put you on this furlough, which basically means you work from home, or actually not, you go from home, and the government cover like 80% of your wage. So some people are getting paid 80% for doing bot all, really, just watching Netflix all day, and then they're sitting at home, the board, got a bit of spare cash,
Yeah,
and spend it on stuff. I think, man,
it's good.
well
Oh,
worth it's well worth a try. Keeping, if you're a creative person, keeping productive and perhaps making some stuff, trying things. Like we just did the pre-order T-shirt with Ryan Roadkill, and it did really well. And it was that removes a bit of the stress as well in printing loads of stock and sitting on it. See if people support you and buy stuff without you having to physically make it first. Which we need to talk to you about doing a new T-shirt. 'Cause it's been a while, man. People say we've done
absolutely.
a lot. We've done a lot together, but I think the last one we actually physically released was that the bubblegum T-shirt. But that was kind of like that was from a range that fell to bits, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was a dope one. But before that was probably, it would have been like Hardware Adventures stuff, or like the Refix Pride line that he did, which was ridiculous.
I think the last one that we did for AnyForty was the Pride one. The Pride one was the last one. Yeah.
Yeah, that was great. That was a great little series.
Mm.
So yeah, you obviously spend like, what sort of percentage of time do you spend doing between digital art and then like your painting, and which do you prefer? And
Definitely painting. Like it's
yeah,
not even a competition.
yeah,
Um, but I would say right now it's probably 60% digital, 40% painting.
wow,
But I'm pushing more for the painting stuff.
yeah,
And even that, even like the painting stuff, the 40%, I'd say like a good chunk of that is murals.
I was just going to say, is that painting in terms of doing stuff like the LeBron piece behind you, or is that painting like the interior, like you've been doing interiors of more spaces, haven't you? Like, was it like a
Yeah.
pizza spot or Lord of the Fries? So that was
Yeah.
it.
Well, they're
Yeah,
an ongoing client with me. Like I try, that's like one thing I try to do. If like a chain approaches me, I'm like, I'll reduce my price to like I'll be I'll take a bit less if I can have all the jobs, sort of thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's a good way to do it.
Yeah.
Like quantity. Sorry.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So what have you like? I think it's always a shame in it because we've talked before about like getting you over to England sometime, come and visit and rack up like a load of painting jobs for you. Because like I say, we've worked with you loads on digital jobs. It would just be ridiculous to be able to pull you into some interior projects that we've been doing.
Hmm.
Have you got any has stuff like this lockdown inspired you to want to travel a bit more when it's over, or
Well, the last 2 years I've been back and forth from Canada, so I'm pretty traveled out at the moment.
yeah, you're done with?
But no, definitely going to Europe like very, very soon. Yeah, definitely gonna go to UK, Europe. Have to, like I've never been there. It's definitely on the top of my list.
Yeah, mate, just make sure you come in the summer. Oh, you're not a big fan of heat anyway, are you?
No, give me the winter.
Yeah, you'd like winter here, man.
Yeah,
Come around like October, November time when it's dry and it's like autumnal. You
yeah.
can get your big
Kia's
hoodies on.
Kia's moving down to the UK. I'm gonna go visit him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, his mi-
Sick. Where's he going?
his missus got a job for Facebook, so I think they're gonna be living in London.
Bang in London, yeah.
Yeah.
So what was obviously you briefly mentioned there that you spent quite a bit of time in Canada. So
Hmm.
you're your good lady, she's originally from Toronto, is that right?
Yeah, she's from Toronto. Yeah.
So
So
what was the deal?
she was living in Australia for a long time, and she was a bit homesick. So she went home, and the plan was for her to come back. So for a few years, she stayed at home, worked, hung out with her friends and family, and I went back up as much as I can for as long as I can, and yeah,
Yeah.
back and forth for a couple of years.
Sick. How did you find them? How did you find Toronto?
Toronto is amazing.
Yeah.
I really, really like it there. I love Montreal. Montreal is my shit for sure.
Yeah. Is that kind of the same vibe between how you've got like Melbourne and Sydney? Melbourne's a bit more like European, but perhaps a bit more built up, and Sydney's a bit more like laid back. Is that right? Is that what I'm hearing? I'm hearing rubbish.
Sydney is a bunch of wankers. No, no. So like, I would say Toronto is very similar to Melbourne, but
Yeah.
Montreal has like a very, very French vibe, and it's got that like old city vibe, a lot of art. Like I think I vibe with it more. Heaps more big
Yeah.
murals. It's very different to what we have here, so I think that's why I like it a lot more. I mean,
Aye.
I originally I was all about the States, but Canada is like that good in between. I think
Yeah.
between Australia and the States.
Yeah. It's definitely on my list. Like I've been quite lucky, and I've been to the States quite a few times, like New York and San Francisco. But I need to try Canada, man. I desperately wanted to try Toronto, but cash flow wasn't there at the time. But I remember you hung out with like 123 Clan in Montreal, didn't you?
Yeah, I chased down any artist that I could find for sure.
Yeah.
Their studio is insane. Definitely
Yeah.
one of the
Yeah.
coolest studios I've been to.
Absolute legends. So I guess you've always been a massive fan of the Lakers, but I saw you got to see Toronto in good times, didn't you?
Yeah,
Championship.
they're my second team. They're my second team.
Yeah.
They were always
Mate,
like up there. They were always up there in my top five. But my missus is from Toronto, so they get a bump.
you allowed it, man.
Yeah,
Especially like being a big fan of like Vince Carter and stuff.
yeah, absolutely. I even like I loved Lowry DeRozan combo. They were a great combo. Even before they were cool.
Yeah. So I can't remember if we spoke about it before. I know I've spoken to a few Australian artists that are into football. Are you into like soccer, into English football?
I was for a few years. Quite a few of my mates are very into it, and they pulled me into the whole fantasy football EPL stuff
Oh yeah,
because I'm a
yeah.
big fantasy guy. I won one year, so I was all about that, and then I got demolished every other year, so I lost interest.
Quick first thing.
Yeah.
I thought cause I've never seen there's obviously like there's a lot of sports work that you create and it tends to be basketball and then like you're saying you've done some like AFL stuff
Hmm.
recently. Uh I'm just laughing at Saul's question, how many liters in the mug? It's like a fucking never ending
Yeah.
cup of tea. I think that's what happens in England during the day.
Yeah.
Live off tea. But yeah, I've never seen you venture into any like European sports. But I have seen you do like I love that series you did. I say recently, but it was probably like a year ago, where you were painting like hockey sticks, painting the hockey ball,
Hmm.
basketballs and stuff like that.
I like that
Um,
chick up there.
yes,
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah.
Mate, yeah, they were sick. So how did you do those? Is that just acrylic or?
Yeah, I just painted them. Yeah, acrylic. I came back from Toronto and I hadn't painted in a while, and I needed to feel what a brush felt like. So spend a couple of weeks just dabbing paint onto something. You know what I mean?
Nice. Do you
Yeah.
find you're doing like little personal things like that? Have any of those led to anything bigger?
No, I got like good reactions. I'm trying to like find like kind of a avenue that my style has like a certain look, and I was
Yeah,
trying to like see if it translates into like commercial things. So that kind of was that exploration. So you'll see
like,
like that kind of pattern shit going on like in the back of my artwork a bit. And I was seeing
yeah,
like if I can translate that in a 3D kind of way.
yeah, man.
Mm.
It's good to explore, innit?
Mm.
That's what I've always liked about your work. It's the just the mixture of like characters and then just the random. Well, I say random. You've obviously thought about them a lot, but like the random patterns. Like when we did this,
Yeah.
what was this again? New Orleans
Yeah, there was a
All Star.
New Orleans All Star game. Yeah.
Like the repeating patterns of like the beads, the titty beads,
Mm.
and this like graffiti type and stuff,
Yeah.
which is. But yeah, we got to do quite a bit of stuff like that in that onrush game, didn't we? Did we do patterns or?
No, it was more like big walls and stuff. I think we did the sticker
That
kind of stuff.
Yeah, I was buzzing off that whenever I was playing the game, and you were messaging me like, "You see any of my stuff in the game?" Screenshot it, and I'd be playing it, and be like, "Fuck, found
Yeah.
something, send it again." Mate, they were good times, man. That's definitely an avenue I want to keep pushing a bit more. Something I've been trying to do this morning, like send some emails out, try to get some virtual meetings because I think like
That's the
us and
future.
all artists could, yeah. Mate, at the minute, it's got to be one of the only industries that well, entertainment that aren't getting touched by this, and they'll be booming, man. People will be buying games, downloading games, and they can make them remote, I guess, or some of the guys going in the offices. But yeah,
Absolutely.
it was definitely a fun experience working on that game and being able to work with you and like loads of other artists that I love. So in terms of like artists that we love, like who are some of your like favorite artists at the moment?
Oh, this is a tough question because I always leave people out for sure.
Yeah. Well, because you've got so you've got the art hall, which is the studio that you're working in now.
Hmm.
Like, how many people are in there?
We got 15 guys in here at the moment. Yeah.
Have you still got them busted up toilets, or have you upgraded them?
We've upgraded them. We've tried to like clean it up. We had like a massive open day, so we all spent a good few weeks cleaning up the place, and we've kind of maintained it, so it's kind of more visitor friendly these days.
I Yeah, I remember because when I visited, I think Saul was getting us on was he drink like whiskey all the time? Went to the toilet and it was like cracked end toilet.
Nah, the toilet's nicer. It's We cleaned up all Saul's screen printing explosions all over the place, and it's more presentable now.
Is Unwell Bunny still in there?
Nah, he's moved on. The only original people still here are Chihihi
Yeah.
and AMAC. I think everyone else is new.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyone that people should look out for?
Oh, absolutely. Um, One of my favorite artists is in here. His name's Silk Roy. That guy is insanely amazing. Um, we got Kyo, who's doing like really cool, interesting like stuff with augmented reality, which is inspirational.
Okay.
I reckon that's pretty awesome.
I'll have to
Um,
look into that. I know of his name,
yeah,
and I'm sure I know of his work, but the augmented reality stuff sounds pretty sick.
it's like that's the future, and like that kind of shit scares the bejesus out of me. But like we all have to learn that stuff, and he's ahead of the
Yeah.
game on that one. Yeah, I mean, like there's so much
Is
talent.
your boy Glenn still there? Is it
But
Crisis?
yeah, he's still here, and the shit that he's doing is crazy awesome as well. Like, yeah,
Yeah, he was another guy I managed to pull into Onrush. His work was ridiculous for that as well.
yeah. Even him, like watching him grow. Like he was never really a paintbrush guy, and now he's It just crushes it. It just bashes out paintings every other day. It's amazing.
And that's incredible. Lot to be said for trying to learn new skills, isn't it? It's very easy to sit tight in what you do know. Like I'm pretty much like I'm always trying to push business forward and other things forward. But in terms of skills, like I've not learned any new software for fucking long time. Probably since Quote Express got deaded and I had to jump over to InDesign. I just use InDesign, Illustrator, Photoshop like day in, day out. I should probably learn like some Cinema 4D or some animation stuff, but
No,
one of
it's
them, right?
funny. Like I studied animation at uni,
Did
and
you?
yeah, that was like what I did. And I swear, I think not until like a few weeks ago when I did like a Kobe like 2 second animation, I had opened up any animation program since uni.
Rusty.
I still
Is
remember
it
how to
all?
do it, but it's not for me. Like no,
Nah, I feel like you've got to have a very particular brain that works a certain way for messing with the animation game. It's not for me. I'm not clever enough to work that out.
it's I'm like so old school. Even like when we were studying it, like there was all these ways to create shortcuts, and I was still hand drawing every frame
Yeah,
because that's just the way my brain works. You know.
mate. If it works and your work comes out sick, doesn't
Mm,
matter, does it?
mm.
So you saying you spend what about 60 to 40% of the time doing painted projects? Like, just I gave myself a little refresher on your Instagram before, and you've done like a lot of stuff. Seems to be recently like interiors, like the Lord of the Fries place, and like what was the other one? Creative Cube.
Yeah.
Uh,
So
there is
they're ongoing clients, which is awesome for sure. And they're both pretty encouraging and allowing me to like really explore things. Like Creative Cubes are the owners there. They're big basketball fans, so they love the basketball tidbits in there. And Lord of the Fries really like my tear up style and my pattern work, so they just like let me go nuts with that kind of stuff, which is always awesome when you have a client like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say. It's like it's great to work with people that give you like the creative freedom to do what you want, which seems to be like a lot of the work I see from you just seems to be like you're getting to have fun doing what you do, man, which is sick.
Yeah.
So do you talking about that the tear up style? Like when did you start bringing that in? Because I feel like
I
ever
think,
since I've known you, really.
yeah, I would say
Oh,
so. I went to Newcastle where I met Keo for the first time, and I think over there is the first time I remember ever doing it, and that would have been around 2013 ish.
yeah.
And then I went like full Basquiat for a while,
Oh yeah.
full messy, and then I tidied it back again. So like I visited a long time ago, and then came around full circle and brought it back.
Yeah. I like it, man. I like seeing, especially seeing the progression, taking it from like digital tears and stuff into like you painting the stuff that's behind you,
Mm.
and that mad coloured bit on the above your head. Yeah, it's ridiculous, man. Well, should we see if it's a hard one, isn't it? Like what time we got left? We'll see if anyone's got any questions for you in terms of like your work
Yeah,
or anything they
sure.
want to ask you. I know it's like all your family are in here, man. You got a big squad, haven't you?
Yeah,
So I'll link back in under the Boy Wolf brand.
yeah.
Big up Boy Wolf. Alright, let's have a look. Yeah, so like we'll just wait for anyone to ask any questions, man. But in terms of the work you're doing, like you've got to do some sick stuff. Everything from trading cards. Is it Cherry Collectibles that you were doing stuff for those guys?
Yeah, so I'm currently rebranding them at the moment too. Which I look, I mean, I love the final product, but the actual task of branding is like so frustrating.
Yeah,
as you would probably know.
yeah. It's a tricky one, isn't it?
Mm.
Something like personally that I love doing, but it's yeah, it all depends on the client and stuff, doesn't it?
Mm.
All right, man. Everyone's been shy. No questions. How did you find the difference in like Toronto to Melbourne? You said they were quite similar, but did you
Quite similar in lifestyle. In terms of art, I think they're about like 6 years behind us,
oh,
which is really
mate,
interesting.
yeah, that's the one thing that vividly sticks with me. Like I've only been to Melbourne once, but I loved it, man. I could easily live there someday if I got rich. But mate, the just it felt like creativity was everywhere. Like it was a good chilled vibe as well, and it was a beautiful place. Like I definitely need to get back and visit like as soon as this lockdown's done and it's safe to get on a plane for
That,
sure.
that's a good question. Do I use projectors when I paint murals or use a grid system? If the wall is ginormous, like, and I'm really close to the wall, like I'm using a boom lift or something, I'll usually use a projector. But apart from that, I'll go freehand.
Nice. Yeah, it was that's like working on a lot of mural jobs lately. It's always I've always found it interesting seeing how different people do different pieces. There's
Mhm.
some people that have just got their sketch and then they'll just replicate it on the wall. But I've seen people even lately doing like gridding out like just with numbers, and it like seems some like mad science type shit. But
Kia is
different
asking
strokes.
when's my next solo show. I don't know. When's COVID finishing? It was supposed to
Yeah, what
be.
was
It was supposed to be this year, but everything's on pause. So no one's
yeah.
talking to. No one's making any plans for anything. So it's all up in the air. It was supposed to be. I wanted to line it up with the Olympics. So I guess when the Olympics are going to be rescheduled for, I reckon that's when my show is going to be.
Yeah, I think we spoke about that a few
Yeah,
months ago. I'm sure
yeah.
it sounded exciting. So what? When was your last show then? I remember.
It was like 4 years ago.
What?
Yeah, yeah. I've been slack.
Hey, it feels like it was only like 2 years ago.
Yeah, it adds up quickly.
Right. So your good lady's asking when you're going to paint Kyle Lowry now that the Raptors might have a 2 year win.
Next question.
Mate, that's got to be easy having a girlfriend from Toronto that's into basketball, presents,
It's the best.
custom, custom Raptors paintings all the time.
Oh, so Parade
Yeah,
tuned in. No, you've been
yes.
using all my paint.
Is there anyone in the studio with you at the minute?
My missus is here, and there's a graffiti writer. He doesn't like to be named. He's in here at the moment too.
One of them.
Yeah.
Mate, what's your take on like the Australian scene at the moment then? Because I've known about it properly for I don't know 2010 probably. It seems to have changed a lot, man, with a lot of guys things like that. Do you feel like there's a lot of people coming through like filling in those gaps of the people that have tried to go off and make like mad art money?
Um, yeah, it's definitely progressed since back then, and it's definitely a different game. Back then, it was the art community was like really like a tight knit thing, and all the art shows felt like a house party, and you'd always see
Yeah,
the same faces. But now, obviously, it's very mainstream, and there's so fucking like every other person is an artist these days. So it feels like there's like 35 shows a week, and you got to really pick and choose who you go see, and the people that you generally want to go and see are the people who are like doing crazy, pushing the boundary stuff, which is it
Yeah.
feels like it's becoming more and more a thing here. Um, and yeah, I think like Australia or Melbourne in general is like there's some crazy fucking awesome creative people here, and they don't give a fuck. They just push the boundaries as far as they can, and it's just you you go in Toronto and like you go to all their galleries and they're still stuck in Shepherd Ferry, all that
Oh
kind
yeah.
of art,
Yeah.
and you come back here and you're like, fuck, like the shit that people are doing here is incredible. But
Mate,
the
you got any
the money is all there, so like it's strange. There's a
what
gap
the
in the
money's in
market.
Toronto or the
Yeah,
money's in Toronto yeah.
yeah. I was like, so I was working with this gallery Struck, and I spent like a few full days just sitting there and just observing, and they'd sell like hundreds of thousands of dollars of art in a day, and it's just like bring that money here because there's so much better art here, you know.
I know it almost doesn't seem fair, does it? That's good that there still is like a scene of like booming exhibition stuff because I feel like I was lucky enough to live in the southwest and lived in London for 3 years, but I was able to travel in for like 3 years before that to see shows. And there was a point when it was that London scene was booming when it comes to like illustration and normal art. So
Mm.
I'm talking about things you can go and buy like a screen print by Timber Smiths for like £40. Um, but it just seems to
Good
have
luck to get
completely
that
died
now.
out. Yeah,
Yeah.
I wish. But that seems to be, especially in London, or it was when I was there. There's very rarely any group shows happen anymore. So it's good in a way that it still seems to be happening in Australia because that's something I miss. It feels like it was like the glory days, especially living in Newcastle where I live now. There's like we might be lucky if we get like 2 shows a year. Something I should really look at changing, but it seems to be in a time that's kind of forgotten.
We're lucky to have crazy people like Eddie Zamet and GT and like just another agency and all these like crazy fucking show curators that put on these amazing artist group shows that are just like fuck, they just don't get appreciated enough for the effort they put in. Like I helped organize one of these things back in the day. It was Patterson Project, and fuck, the amount of work that you have to put in one of these massive group shows is
Oh, yeah.
insane.
That's it. Well, even things like I don't think outside of America, especially, I've never seen something like the one that Eddie did, that Cockatoo Island.
Yeah.
That was the Big T exhibition, just fucking ridiculous. That
Hmm.
so it seems like it seems to me like it's definitely one of the most creative cities in the world. I reckon Melbourne,
Yeah,
full
that's
show.
absolutely.
All right, let's see if anyone's got any more chat. Yeah. So what's next for you, man, Kev? You just trying to just keep on surviving. Have you got any big plans?
I've been really trying to, now that like COVID's happening, push myself definitely. I want to try and start the biggest painting I've ever done. That's like been
Oh,
a goal of mine for a long time. Um, I'm scared. I'm not gonna lie. I know how long it takes me to do like an average size painting, so you gotta fucking push yourself. And yeah, just doing design work at the moment. A lot of design work.
that's good, man.
Yeah.
So have you talking about like t-shirt brands? Obviously we've done a lot of stuff together, and that was how we kind of crossed paths with Boy Wolf and
Hmm.
things like Sash, who had Black Book tees and all those brands. Is like the independent t-shirt scene in Australia, is it still booming or is it?
I think thanks to Saul, it's like that guy is absolutely insane, and created he's created like a little network of all these little brands, and he's given them the opportunity with like his pricing and like print
Yeah,
runs to like kind of bring that back in, and I think it's turning around here. Yeah, for sure. Graphics are
man.
definitely not what they were in our day. Um,
Nah.
they're very, very strange, but I'm feeling it. Like, definitely.
Yeah, is it Red? Is it Redwood Press?
Redwood Press, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, they're doing yeah, big up Saul because he's doing some incredible stuff with like the first time I saw like puffing since like 1980s.
Yeah,
And I saw something he was doing the other day where it was like puff ink over layered colored segments and
he's
just
nuts. He loves the challenge, and yeah, he's crazy like that.
yeah, it technically looks like he's absolutely killing it because I remember when I met you guys, it was all very much like he was printing all the own boy wolf stock, wasn't he?
Hmm.
And it felt like it was very like a not as a disrespectful thing, but a DIY, like an in-house,
Absolutely.
like kind of vibe. And now the stuff he's doing is just bonkers. So definitely big up to Saul, and especially if he's helping brands get out there and grow. Kind of got there's a printers that I'm using at the moment who are based in Bristol. They're called Square Roots. Uh, Shout out Ben from Square Roots if he's watching this, and he's doing a kind of similar thing. Dropped his minimums, so you can make anything from like really 20 t-shirts these days. Whereas back in the days, like AnyForty stuff, no one would touch you if you didn't have a minimum of 50, 100. So things are definitely changing, and people are having to adapt to that.
Yeah.
So that's exciting. You had a little venture into your own brand, but you never brought it out, did you?
No, it's still sitting there. A massive
Can
pie
you,
of it's behind me still.
mate? What was the deal with that as well? I remember talking to you a lot about that.
Literally, it's me not having the time to build a website to put them for sale. Like everything else is done. They're ready, they're packed. I haven't had time to do that shit.
Mate, you need to get get a young intern, man.
Yeah.
Pull it in to help you because if you've got the stocks out there,
Yeah. That's
that's
all
your
sitting there.
LMNOP, wasn't it?
Yeah, it hasn't seen the daylight ever.
When did you get them printed?
Oh fuck, it feels like 2016,
Oh,
2015.
mate, they might even be haunted by now,
Yeah.
being sat there alone.
They're sealed in boxes. Yeah, no one's seen the graphics. Only a handful of people have seen the graphics.
Yeah, I remember you've shown me a few of them.
Yeah.
I liked them, but I can't. Yeah, I can't really remember. It was quite a
Yeah.
while ago.
I can't even remember. How can you remember?
Mate, you know what? Weirdly, I'm good at remembering stuff from a while ago. It's shit that I did like last week
Mm.
or like 3 days ago that I find hard. Mad times. So what we've talked about like the projects that have unfortunately felt a bit at the moment, like they might get reignited after the Rona's done. But what sort of dream projects would you really like to work on? I know obviously like the legit NBA stuff is like no question. Apart from that, what else?
Mm. Top five jobs have always been for me. Well, number one was always working with Kobe and Kobe's brand. Um, that still might happen, just not with Kobe physically. His brand's still alive, so
Yeah.
that's number one. NBA is number two. Lakers are number three. Nike and then 2K. Yeah, they're the
Yeah.
goals.
Yeah.
You
Well, I
go,
could have guessed that.
yeah.
Ridiculous.
Hmm.
Those days will come, man. Like
I don't doubt
we've
it.
got, and you're a hard worker, man, and talented, and everyone loves working with you, man. So we'll get there.
For sure.
Well, I think we've only got a few minutes left, mate. Again, it's kind of bar the shaky start with this shit internet. It's flown by again, man.
Yeah.
So let's give people a chance just to chuck in the last question if they've got one. And if not, we'll wrap it up, man, and let you keep on working into the night.
Absolutely.
What time's it there? Nearly 11.
11. It's still early days, man. I'm here till 5:30.
You're like a vampire. Do you sleep a bit during the day?
Yeah, I sleep a bit during the day, of course. Typically
Mate, what are you looking?
5-6 hours a day.
Oh, mate, you're looking good for it. I know
Thanks.
some people that get like 8 hours sleeping. They look like shit warmed up. I've had 8 hours and I look like I've been run over. Been
Maybe
living in
you're
the bush.
sleeping too much.
Could be.
Yeah,
That's always an option, isn't it? I
yeah.
think I'm spending yeah, sleep's another one. Another talk on its own. I can't sleep. I spend time in bed, but not a lot of it sleeping. Although that sounds dirty. Not not them vibes.
You got a
Right, mate. Well, I
question.
think you what, mate?
You got a question.
Have I got a question for you?
No, you got a question from Saul.
Oh, I've got a question from Saul. Oh, when do I come back to Australia? I think like if this shit all gets sorted, I'll come back over like October, November time. I'm just gonna get like a bank loan or a credit card and just stick it on it. That's one thing I've learned from this lockdown, man. I've had the chance to come and visit you guys for easily the last 4 years, but I've always had that little fear in the back of my mind, which is like I can't spend that money on a holiday. Like if work dries up, like I need to keep a roof over my head. I need to keep food in the dog's belly, and it's something I've always put off. But I think this coronavirus, it's gonna make me do things that I want to do a little bit more. And if work does dry up and I've spent all my money on a holiday to Australia, then fuck it, I'll just work out ways of earning money another way. You can always deliver pizzas on a bike or
Absolutely.
anything, man. So yeah, November time, as long as we've not all been wiped out by the zombie apocalypse, I'm gonna come to Melbourne for sure.
Yeah, crash at
Too
my
many
house.
people, mate. It's on camera now, so I'll take you up on that.
Yeah, for sure.
I need to come over and need to drink some Cooper's beer and just see people again because it was I think I was there for like 2-3 weeks last time with Purdy, and it was brilliant, man. I loved it, so I'd love to go back there and just experience that city, Melbourne city living a bit more. So definitely, mate. Well, yeah, we're gonna get cut off in a minute, so I'm just gonna say thank you very much for giving up an hour of your day,
No worries.
of your night, and it was wicked to catch up with you. And I'm gonna hit you back up on our normal correspondence on the Facebook Messenger,
Okay.
and we'll chat, man. I think the world needs some new AnyForty Ohnoes.
Absolutely.
Right, stay safe, buddy.
All right. Peace, man.
See you, mate. Peace.
Bye.
Right, guys. Thank you very much for jumping into that one again. It was a bit earlier in terms of for the English people to be along, but we had a big turnout from Australia. So shout out Australia. The next talk, chat, whatever it is we're doing, is going to be on Friday, and it's going to be with Dan Mumford. So see you on Friday, 6 p.m. Peace!